Dingus and Dongus.
Tomato.
Episode 18.
Welcome to the Dingus and Dongus debacle.
Hey! Is like Dr. Zoidberg?
Yes.
The comic we went with this week is Sentient by Jeff Lemire. It came out on TKO, just like Seven Deadly Sins that we did last time.
Yep.
And I love the story.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There were a couple moments where I was like, "Oh, this is what's going to happen," and then that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, this was a very well done story, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh, definitely. So the premise is Earth is fucked, presumably climate change related. Basically, Earth is becoming uninhabitable. So the Earth government starts shipping people off to a new planet to
colonize, yeah.
Establish a colony. Twist is apparently there's a separatist faction at the colony that doesn't want Earth
To rule. They want to
rule,
be
yeah.
their free peoples, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a common trope.
Yep.
It's like, we're out here in the space Wild West.
Yeah.
We're going to govern ourselves? Fuck you, Earth?
Yep.
So, I can get with that to
Right.
a degree.
And that's where the main conflict comes in. So we follow the USS Montgomery, I believe that's the ship.
Yep.
And very early on, you learn that one of the separatists is on that vessel and essentially kills all adults.
Yep. Like, immediately.
Yeah.
First issue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, there's a cat scratching. Cat scratch fever. One of the things I didn't like was the art.
Oh, yeah?
It reminded me of a PBS children's cartoon.
Yeah.
And it was just meh. It wasn't horrible, it wasn't repulsive,
Right.
but it was dumb.
It was, I didn't really have too much of an issue with it. Like, everything looked very childish.
It was kind of just there.
Yeah. But, it's, we're dealing with a ship filled with kids, essentially.
Yep.
And, okay, so what happened was all the adults died, and then the ship AI had to take over and essentially raise the kids and get them to the colony.
Yes. It was like, because the AI's protocols got deactivated.
Yep.
So that it could be used to help kill things.
Right, and essentially allow, because part of the parameters is kids can't tell the AI what to do or whatever.
Right,
or anything.
right.
But since it's just going to be kids, the AI needs to have more freedom. And that's when that happened, when the AI started taking over and the kids are left all alone with each other and just the AI, that's when the book really grabbed me, because that's such in a weird way, a very relatable situation where you're essentially thrown into a situation where you're just not prepared.
Yeah, and you have to nut up or die. Yeah. Well, that's if you wanted to boil down what the story was, it's dealing and processing with grief and dealing and processing trust issues.
Yeah.
And personal growth and responsibility.
Yeah, and in the face of complete uncertainty.
Right, absolutely. I did like how Val, the AI, Val, yeah. In the beginning, we'll say quarter of the whole story, she was very, very much artificial intelligence,
right,
and how she was portrayed in her text bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on, it was she shifted to a more affectionate sounding AI, which was intentional, we find out, to help soothe the younger of the children.
Right.
So they're not freaking out like 24/7. I thought that was pretty cool, that the artificial intelligence evolved over the course of the book.
Right.
It's like, good job, Jeff Lemire.
Yeah. Yeah. Growth as a character.
Yeah, exactly.
And on that point, like, the book starts out with a little narration about, this is a story about our mother.
Right.
In which case, the narrator is actually referring to the ship, because the ship essentially became
the mother
the mother for
of all these
the
children.
kids.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just a really well told story.
One part that I liked, because there's two ships
Mhm.
eventually, both with AI. So they're being boarded by the other separatist colony ship, and Victor, I believe was that AI, started taking control.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked how it was a visual representation on the screen of red and blue.
Oh, right.
So over time, you could see how much progress this other AI has made in taking over Montgomery, but also gave a sense of urgency. What I liked, though, was when Val like got the little snipper claws and just like destroyed
Oh,
Victor's
yeah.
robot.
Yeah.
That was just fun.
Yeah, Val does some pretty brutal stuff in this book.
Yeah.
She, in the very first issue, she used her robot arms to essentially kill the separatist
Lady.
Yeah,
Yeah, impaled her, right?
Yeah, right in front of the kids,
Yeah.
too.
So I'm sorry y'all had to see that.
Yeah, well, oops. Traumatize you guys for life, but
That's
hey,
what had to happen.
yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
You were gonna die. Was the mom gonna kill him? I can't remember now.
No, I think the mom wasn't gonna kill the kids. It's just she wants to defy, whatever the mission was. And
Gotcha.
Val couldn't let that happen.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Val's still trying to protect the mission.
Right. And then to the trust issue, like her son was the one that no one liked and no one wanted to trust because
Right.
they assumed he was in on it.
Right.
And then we find out later when Lil, I guess she ends up becoming one of the more prominent characters,
Mhm.
the oldest child, goes onto this refueling station. Like, he's the one that went after her
Mhm.
and bashed a psycho dude upside the head.
Yeah, he essentially saves her.
Yeah, and that kind of helps build that trust between those two also. Whereas before, she hated him.
Oh yeah.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Your mom is a bitch.
And it's understandable because
Yeah.
his mom killed everybody's parents,
Right.
and she has no reason really to necessarily even trust the other kid.
Yeah, it was like
At
you
all.
were in on it the whole time. You knew
Yeah.
what was going on.
Right.
What the hell? It was funny too. After Robot Lady, or the lady kills everyone, Val starts cleaning them up.
Oh yeah.
And at first, there's the caption, and it was kind of like a shoot caption. So in my head, I visualized Val is in some sort of AI robot on the ship, chopping up the human.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And then it went to the panel, and no, she's just carting them basically and putting them in an airlock.
Right.
I was like, oh, well, damn! I kind of wish the Val was chopping them up, and then this kid goes out and sees it. But that was a nice little resolution for the kids, I guess. They got to see their dead parents
Yeah.
for sure. It was a kind of, because there were some kids that were like, well, maybe they're not dead.
Right.
So it was like a definitive, yeah, they are.
Right.
Here they say goodbye type of thing.
Right.
A little morbid, but I guess it makes sense.
Well, I mean,
Closure.
yeah, it's closure, and it's kind of just a turning point in their lives. It's like, all right, here, this chapter has ended. We're on to the next one.
Yep.
For you guys,
Yep.
this is the next part of your life, and whether you're ready or not, it's happening.
Yep. And the book is kind of laid out in that sense,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that scene where the dead parents just floated out while the kids are watching in the airlock. It's just, that's heavy, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what. Oh.
Okay, well, shit.
Yeah.
So one of the things that... Okay, so they go to the refueling station, meet this guy. This guy's crazy, saying he's going to come get you. Victor's going to get you, or what have you. The skinny of it is there is another ship. They are a separatist faction, and they're trying to take over the colonizing ship.
Right.
Right? So what I thought was going to end up happening was Val really was kind of a bad AI, a rogue AI, and the kids didn't know better, and I thought maybe this Victor ship was there to truly help, like they were saying.
Right.
And then I thought maybe the kids were going to kill him off and kind of fuck themselves because they just killed the help.
Right.
That didn't end up being the case.
No.
But it reminded me of Have you seen The Mist?
Yeah.
And at the end, when the dad kills his family and then himself,
Right.
and then the army comes and shows up, like his help was minutes away. That's the kind of vibe I thought I was going to experience.
Yeah.
And I was completely wrong. It would have been admittedly to me, it would have been a much cooler story.
Yeah.
But it would have ended the story too soon.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been too soon. But I thought that would have been a great ending. It's like, oh, you killed your only help? Now you're fucked with the rogue AI floating in space till you're dead. But no, they actually make it to the colony.
Right, they make it to the colony. Well, I mean, but then you kind of know, right? Because at the very beginning of the story, it tells you this is a story about our mom. So,
right.
You know, somebody survived
right.
to tell the story.
Yep.
And it's just...
Well, that whole narrative piece was interesting, too, because you don't know what... You have misguided judgments and assumptions about what they're talking about.
Right, that's true.
Throughout every step.
Right.
And then at the end, it all makes sense.
Right.
It's like, oh, those narrative squares.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Puzzle pieces all fit
exactly,
together.
Right.
And it's wrapped up nicely. And I particularly like how the little boy was able to save a portion of Val.
Yes.
And at the end, you see them like teaching Val
to learn.
Yeah, to learn.
Yeah.
And now it's their turn to be her parents.
Yep.
And it's like, oh,
it's just like Alabama, where your mama's your daughter, and your daughter's your mama.
They have time travel in Alabama?
Yes, they do. And your stepdaddy is your mama's sister.
Is your mama's sister?
Yeah. That's
Man,
Alabama.
they're really progressive in Alabama. I mean, you got time travel, you got transgender, man,
and intersex.
Yeah,
intersex. Yes. Yeah, and then a thumb drive with artificial intelligence porn on it.
Yeah, exactly. I've always enjoyed Jeff Lemire's book just because he's such a good storyteller and tells like these really cool stories that are kind of out there and like sci-fi oriented or fantasy oriented, but still like is incredibly relatable. Yeah, the crux of this is dealing with change and dealing with the unknown.
Yep. Yep.
And that's something I think, everybody can relate to.
At some level, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just in this case, it's fucking AI out in space with like 20 kids.
Oh, yeah. In a communications dead zone.
Oh,
we
yeah.
should mention.
Yeah.
So they can't call anyone for help.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's got to be so fucking scary.
Yeah. It's like, and it was cool though, because she taught them, she raised them and taught them skills they needed to learn to survive.
Right.
And then when they left that ship into the other ship, they used those skills that Mama Val taught them to manually fly a ship.
Right.
To safety.
Right.
To live. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool how Val was able to like delegate based on like their particular strengths and stuff.
Yep.
And their particular interests. Is like, oh yeah. Hell yeah. Good job. You're a good mom.
You're a great AI.
Yeah.
More artificial intelligence should raise children.
Exactly, right?
The album is 2. I assume it's 2?
Who knows?
T.O.O.H. with exclamations surrounding.
Right. It's an acronym for Total Obliteration of Humanity.
So the album is Total Obliteration of Humanity. That's the band.
Yeah.
The album is Free Speech by them. It's out on Lavadome Productions last year, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And
it fucking rules.
It's a little spastic.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it has beautiful solos, especially track 4, kind of sprinkled in, and then spastic weirdo shit, and then some grinds.
Yeah.
And parts of it kind of remind me of Psy's Imaginary Soundscape in touches here and there.
Yeah.
And then there's just a solo that's great, but doesn't fit with the rest of the music. Like, what the hell are you... What is this? But it kind of sucks me back in.
Yeah.
I kind of get lost... like, I would listen to it and I'd get lost in the chaos, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I don't know, but then the solo would like suck my attention back in. Then I'd get lost a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I think they got really fucking cool riffs.
They're
really fucking cool
yeah,
riffs.
yeah.
I don't know if it's correct, but like it sounds like to me that there's a lot of Eastern European melodies. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
That's a really cool aspect of their music. Have you listened to any of their prior stuff?
Not with any
Okay.
depth, no.
Well, yeah, it's always like been Spastic, and the second and third album had a lot of that same vibe of like Eastern European melodies, and instead of just straight up harsh vocals, there's vocal melodies as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but what I noticed with this particular album is the use of like keyboards and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as well incorporated as say what we discussed last time with the Forest, but I thought it added a nice element.
Do they typically not?
Not that I recall.
Okay, because I've only heard like bits here and there,
Yeah.
and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I was staring at the artwork because I try and make it a point now to at least look at the cover art, if
Mhm.
nothing else. And instantly, just with its colors and most of the shapes outside of the infinity O's, reminded me a lot of African art or Caribbean art. Very geometric and bright colors.
Okay, I
It's
can
like,
see
oh,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And then this was a fun little path that I went down that I've never really had this experience with looking at album art before, and it's going to be dumb as hell, but it blew my mind. So their name is T.O.O.H with the dots, right?
Right.
And I'd always seen it kind of just blocky letters with exclamation marks. This one, so I initially saw 4 white dots, 2 on the bottom left, 2 on the top right. I was like, what the hell are those white dots? What the fuck are they doing? And I sat there. It's like, oh, duh, it's their name. I was like, why are they at the top? And then it dawned on me that the infinity symbol, the 2 O's, is just 2 O's, and one half the name got twisted upside down. And I was just like, God damn it. Because the H is an H.
Right.
Capitalized H is upside down, right side up. Like,
Clever.
it was like, you fuckers. I can't believe it. I can't believe it took me literally connecting the dots to realize what they were doing. And it was just a really exciting experience for me.
Yeah.
More so than the album, if I'm being honest. It's like, oh, that was just really cool. I figured out this puzzle that's really not a puzzle, but how many people sit and think about it?
I didn't.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, I did, and it was just really cool. Nothing to do with the music at all.
Well, it's cool when people take the effort to do stuff like that. For whatever they're making.
Right.
Like add little details just like that. For I guess people curious enough to look into it.
Yep. And I don't know when they switched to this logo. So I'm literally, it's like, I don't know, Times New Roman font basically was the old one. Simple. So I don't.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue. I mean, they went on hiatus for a while. It's kind of sad, actually. It was like, I think after they released the third album, apparently there's some, like, issues with the label or whatever, and caused one of the guys to, like, go into a nervous breakdown and, quit.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So they're Eastern European, right?
They're Czech.
Okay, gotcha. I knew they weren't from the U.S.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember. I thought they were that or Russian or something.
Yeah.
So Czech.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at some of the any of the song names.
Yeah, the song names. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not English.
That's not American.
And I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce any of that.
It's all on the internet.
Yeah.
That's all. It's on the internet.
Yep. But shit, brain fart now.
Yes. 2 for 2.
Ah, son of a bitch. My brain is, I mean, already, like, everybody's brain is jelly, but, like, mine is, like, turned into, like, moldy jelly, I think.
I think the term is you are smooth-brained right now.
Smooth-brained?
Yes. Not wrinkle-brained. All the wrinkles have been smoothed out. So
It's,
your thoughts just slide right off.
Well polished.
Yeah.
It's like those Japanese hammer ball things.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody took a hammer to my brain, smoothed it out.
Yep. But what would you call this? It's not grind. There's definitely grind in it, and I think that's probably the root.
Yeah, it's like proggy grind.
Yeah, experimental.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, listen to it at least once.
Yeah.
There's some merits to it.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I personally enjoyed it a lot.
right.
But I could see like it not being everybody's cup of tea.
Yep.
Because it is really fucking weird.
Yes.
Especially some of the samples they included, like that first song, with the little farty sounds.
Yes.
I think, and baby noises or whatever.
And there's like a bird, apparently.
Yeah.
And I guess I was told that it's a bird sample that's also often used in TikTok videos.
What?
Yeah. So it's probably just a common bird sound, like or whatever.
It's a stock bird.
Yeah, I guess a stock bird that's also used in TikTok videos. I was told. I was like, I don't.
How'd you find out?
Holly told me.
Oh, really?
She was listening to it with me.
Oh.
And then Holly frequents TikTok for animal videos. And then she was like, oh, they use that sample in TikTok all the time. I was like, no shit. All right, I'm going to write that down. And we're going to maybe talk about it.
See, now that's got me curious about, like, okay, what are they, talking about? What are the lyrics now? Like, if they're using TikTok samples.
Well, I don't know if it's a TikTok sample.
Yeah.
I think it's just a sample that's been used in TikTok.
Okay. Gotcha.
So they didn't pull it from TikTok necessarily.
Right.
It's
Okay.
just,
But it's something well known enough.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, now I'm pretty curious. Like, what are you guys talking about? Huh? The birds?
Are the lyrics on? Do you have access to the lyrics?
I think they're on Metal Archives, but they're all in Czech.
Right.
So.
Well, you can get a super poorly translated version real quick on just Google Translate.
Yeah, that's true.
It won't be perfect,
right?
But it'll give you enough if they're talking about songbirds or torturing birds or imprisoning birds.
Or maybe it's just a recipe for roast songbird.
Yes. I saw a recipe book that was a Dungeons and Dragons recipe book.
Oh.
Of actual food items that you and I could eat.
Yeah.
But from Dungeons and Dragons. And I flipped through it and it was cool as hell. And then I put it back.
That's kind of like that restaurant in Japan that does the Monster Hunter foods.
Oh, I didn't know that existed.
Monster Hunter Cafe or whatever. It's all food inspired by like dishes in the game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I would love to go to a D&D tavern and eat and drink D&D food items, by a professional chef.
Right.
Like, not just some deep fried chicken tenders or whatever, like actual.
Right.
That would just be cool.
That would be neat, and like have the restaurant decorated like a tavern.
Right. Yeah.
In D&D. That'd be pretty fucking sweet.
I agree.
I'm wondering, like, should the staff be like cosplaying?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it, go for it.
Yeah.
You got to sell it at that point.
Man, that's gonna be a pain in the ass for the staff, at least.
Well, I would agree, but I feel some staff would love it.
Yeah.
And if you treat them and pay them right,
yeah,
like a fucking human,
right?
Then they get to be fucking nerds and make money.
Okay. So in my head, I got an image of like servers dressed up as adventurers serving food, but that's like that could get really cumbersome. And what's more likely is, I guess, dressed up as, I don't know, medieval servants.
Yeah, just commoner clothing.
Yeah,
stupid.
Tunics.
Yeah, boring tunics. Yeah. Basically. What do they wear at medieval times?
I don't.
Not the horse fighters, but like the servers.
It's been so long that I don't even remember.
Same.
I think I've been there like once.
I've been there also only once.
Yeah. Yeah, good roast chicken.
Yeah. We should look for a Groupon and go to medieval times after I'm vaccinated.
Is this still around?
I don't know. Presumably.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably not as fun as I'm picturing it.
How long is it? It's like an hour, right?
I think so, yeah.
I've
sat through an hour of bullshit before, though.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, let's not.
T.O.O.H. It's awesome, I think.
Yes. It has pretty solos that don't fit with the rest of the music.
It's spastic, and it's got neat melodies.
Would you say, for you, that it's spastic and fantastic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Marco.